Hi everyone. What is today? Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are doing well. Carrie Severson here. I am a spiritual mentor and storytelling consultant for women. I'm talking with my friend and co-host Jennifer MacFarlane here in a second about an upcoming event we have taking place in Phoenix, Arizona called Sister Summit Event. So I am going to share this with a couple of my folks. For the ladies watching, you know that time when you've got like an eyelash stabbing you in the eye? That's happening to me right now. So if I pop off to deal with my eye, I apologize. But Sister Summit Events is a 3-day retreat we're hosting at the Wigwam. Hey, Jen. Hi.
Hi.
I was just saying if I've got to
How's
pop
your
off to deal with
eye?
I can't see very well out of this one. I'm
Oh
for those of
no.
you watching, Jen's like, "Where are you? How come you're not on?" And I'm like, "I can't see."
Got something in my eye.
So,
Crazy.
it's nice to see you. Happy Wednesday.
Happy
How are you?
Wednesday. It feels like a
Um,
super magical day.
I
My vibration is super high today.
Good. I'm glad. I have a speaking gig later on tonight, so I appreciate that. I'm excited about that. Being in the good
Yeah,
space.
congratulations. I've seen your
100th.
posts and
100.
like 100th. Like that takes guts.
Yeah, you know what's funny is when I started my last year, I decided to really help, hone in on speech writing and help people get up on stage and tell stories because that is something I have a lot of experience in, and I feel like I've learned a lot and I'm pretty good at it. So I started
Mm-hmm.
counting the number of times that I've done keynotes, and I was like more than 75 when I was promoting my program last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the year, I sat down and I was like, I really want to know how many I've really done. And at that point, I mean, it was 90, I had gotten to 98. So I had one already in Wisconsin this year. And so here we are, 100. I'm glad I took the time to count because, you know,
Yeah.
I think it's a great lesson just for entrepreneurship in general, how we sort of rush through it. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever take for granted the opportunity I have to be to have a platform, to have a voice, to share stories with the masses, both in front of people as well as, through media outlets. But slowing down to appreciate it and really celebrating it, I think is just a great example or a great lesson for entrepreneurs in general. So I had to share that.
Yeah. I mean, in the work that I do, that's one of the main things that I make people do.
Yeah, celebrate, right?
It is because in life, and actually in one of the retreats that I did last year, we did this circle where each one of us had to celebrate something that we had never celebrated. It's amazing what people don't celebrate. Like some big shit goes down without acknowledgement.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
So
I
it's
know.
like,
That's really good. And even in the creation process as a storyteller, working with storytellers, um, so many people are like, it's the end of the week. What are you going to do to celebrate? But I'm very much focused on, sorry, my eye. I'm very much focused on, you wrote a story. Now what are you going to do? So that celebration piece is really important, which is
yeah,
kind of what we're doing in Phoenix in May.
yes, I know. I just want to add to that before we go, because what I realized when I started really celebrating every day, something, celebrate it. It's different than gratitude. It's in the same family, but it feels
Mm-hmm.
different, right?
Yeah.
Is that if we don't stop and celebrate, especially like you said, entrepreneurs are kind of prone to do, is that we don't acknowledge that we've gotten anywhere either, because
Right.
we tend to go, oh yeah, okay, well that's done, on to the next thing. And no, we don't even say, oh yeah, that was like a dream come true. I've been
Right.
wanting to do that since I was 10.
I know, right? I know. When I posted on my personal page this morning that today's my 100th keynote, there was some fear that came up around that and again, this is a great sort of example for entrepreneurs or stories in general, because being visible, even in such a short story as it's my 100th gig, that's a story in itself. There was some fear around that on, what if people doubt it? What if they question it? Like I immediately went to them instead of staying in my power. So I took a walk, got grounded, meditated, I'm dancing and I'm listening to music at the same time. And then I was like, you know what? It took me 7 years to get to this milestone. And I'm going to share it. And so acknowledging the 100, acknowledging the time and the commitment. 7 years is a long time to stay at something, right? So yeah, celebration is key.
Celebration is key. Yeah. Definitely. Like, when you think that you're on the path of your life's purpose, I know that's kind of cliche, but I'm a firm believer in purpose, destiny. Those work for me. And, I realize I hope I'm still doing what I'm doing when I'm 90.
Yeah.
So if I'm not celebrating that along the way, I'm going to be a really not so happy 90-year-old woman, going, I haven't accomplished anything. What happened during those 90 years,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I recommend even starting every new year. What I do myself, something I do for myself, is write down everything that I did throughout the year. I go by month and go back and write out all of the things that I accomplished.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Powerful practice too.
That's a good idea. I used to highlight things at the end of the month. Like I would write out intentions of the month, and then at the end I would highlight them. I've gotten out of that, but that is something I think is really, really cool.
It might be a really cool thing that we can do with our viewers today, or if they're watching the replay, is to challenge them to just write down, as many because I find once you start jotting things down, more comes. It's the first 2 or 3 that are the most difficult to think of. The first one is the most difficult. But to look back on your life. There was one girl who had gotten her PhD. She had never celebrated it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's huge. That's like 10 years of your life, right?
That is a lot of school. That's a lot of school.
So if you're watching, over the next, and we're at full moon too, so it's a beautiful time. Think about what you want to say thank you for, what you're grateful for in your life, what you've been blessed with, and what you have accomplished, right?
Yeah.
And it sounds simple, but it's really about soul and self-acknowledgement.
Full moon is tomorrow night, right?
Yeah. But I don't know about
but
you.
Still,
I've been there for a couple of days already.
Yeah, we kind of celebrated a few days ahead of time. I love the fact that my 100th speaking gig is landing the day before full moon. So yeah, do us a favor. Before we talk about the Sister Summit event, tell us A, where you're watching from, and then B, what you're celebrating in this moment, what you can show gratitude for something you've already accomplished within the last 6 months. How's that? Oh, I think Jen froze. Jen, did you freeze? You froze. So maybe I'm going to text her really quick. Okay, so she just popped off and she'll pop back on here in a minute. So that's beautiful. A great way to show gratitude for a story that's already shown up in your life is to write it down, especially around this time, and then just show thanks and tell us about it in the comments below. What you're grateful for has already showed up in your life. So Jen's going to pop back on, and we are going to talk about Sister Summit events happening in Phoenix, May 18th to the 20th. And Lord, please get this eyelash out of my eye so that I can see.
I wish I could, like...
I know, I just feel like holding my eyelid up.
Oh, that sucks. Hey, you're a committed woman. You just jump on here even if you're going to cry the whole time.
Yeah, so I asked viewers to show us what they're committed, what they're celebrating and grateful for. But let's talk about Sister Summit events, May 18th to the 20th.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just found out that my mom's going to come, so I'm super excited. She's probably like, I don't want you to tell anybody, and I've already like blasted it out to the world. I'm so excited.
Yes, my mom will hopefully be in town as well, and so we'll have to get them together. But you know what? It's a beautiful example of what we're creating, because women from all walks of life are coming together to hang out in celebration of just like growth. You know what I mean? Of expanding their development in all sorts of ways, both in spiritual development, self-development, whatever they're creating. Anytime you spend moments doing those things and fueling yourself up, you better all aspects of your life and your family. So I love the fact that your mom's coming. I can't wait to meet her.
Yeah, I know. And it's such a, I know I've shared this on my personal page too, so I should be careful what I say about my mom. But it is, last year was a tricky year for a lot of people, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yes.
No names, but it's going to be a powerful healing and evolutionary experience for everyone that's there, including no names.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, so what we're doing, Jennifer and I partnered up, and we partnered with our Soul Alliance teammate, Romina, and we all come from different business backgrounds,
spiritual backgrounds,
and we work with very different women. So we decided to create an event that taps on what abundance means, what purpose and energetic alignment means, and the stories behind those elements to create a beautiful 3-day retreat at the Wigwam here in Phoenix. Mm-hmm. So why don't you give an example of what women can expect from you?
Well, if you don't know what I do, I'm here to help people understand their relationship with money and abundance. And I do that because it's kind of like my mission. I've just stepped into it. And, the vision is that I see a world possible where there is balance, where everybody has sufficient abundance, more than enough in their life. Because the truth is, when we look around at what the earth, the resources that the earth has given us, has for us, there is more than enough for everyone. So it's we are the change going forward with this. So I know that it's my job to sort of update people into this new way. And it's not that far away. I know we're going to see a lot of changes. So I work at this level of deep subconscious programming. I come from the hypnosis, meditation, and yogic background, even way back. but like NLP, that kind of stuff is where my gifts really come in strong. So when we get into some of the deep, deep stuff around money, for example, one of the ones that has come up recently for me to work with is don't get it unless you need it, right? So many people, and that is something that comes from, I kind of work a lot with the energy and programming that was set in between our grandparents, the First, Second World War, a little bit behind that, and now, and the constructs and programming that have happened in between there. And it's not to say that it wasn't very real for them, it's just saying we're not in that same place anymore. And it's time to, not live with so much fear, not live with not knowing how we're going to survive, I know I'm kind of going off, but our first and second chakras are kind of, it's time for an update and an upgrade for our lowest chakras, because we're meant to be here and be supported. I mean, Gabby Bernstein's book, The Universe Has Your Back, which I haven't read, but I love that saying. And I know you've experienced, I've experienced, most of my clients have experienced it, that the universe does have your back. There is abundance. There's, even when we have nothing, we still have so much.
Yeah. And the concept of abundance isn't like a spiritual idea. Like, it is something that it's talked about in all of the great business books. It's talked about in those gigantic, economic summits, and the idea that, I mean, it's even going even religious. It's in, the word abundance, your cup runneth over.
It's been frowned upon. I mean, I get the ringers from a lot of the spiritual community for talking about money the way that I do, because there's still a firm belief in that mindset that money is the root of all evil, or that we're not supposed to talk about money, or, and it's like, it's the funnest thing to talk about when people get honest and truthful. Yeah. And there's so much love, and there's like, when people feel like they're safe to talk about money, there is something beautiful that happens there.
Did you ever read the book, The Soul of Money?
No, I have been recommended it a couple of times. So
I love it. It's a book by Lynn Twist. She was on Super Soul Sunday last year, or maybe earlier this year. No, last year. I forget what year we're in. She was on in 2017. But it was one of those books that truly changed my life, because the time I read it, I was running a nonprofit that was in consistent need of money. And there was this lack mentality that was happening consistently, because it felt like there was never enough money. And when I read The Soul of Money, I was able to flip the mindset in looking at what we were doing and how I could create differently. And that came into my life through a spiritual advisor I had at the time, probably in 2014, and everything changed for us at that point. So it's a beautiful, what you're bringing to Sister Soul, or the Sister Summit event, is going to be magical. And then our co-host Romina she's out in California. She has a background in energy healing and Reiki. Her background is in nutrition and medicine and health. And so she works with a lot of people who have body issues that are out of alignment with overall health and wellness. And she grew up with a lot of spiritual ceremony from all backgrounds. And so she brings a very special twist to everything. And I grew up in the journalism publishing business. I've been in the publishing business for 20 years and around stories all my life. And when I became an entrepreneur, I was able to look at story a little bit differently and really hold it accountable for being a mindset issue, being a heartfelt, soulful issue, and then being something that we physically express. So a lot of what I'll be bringing to Sister Summit event will be the mindset and the soul and the heart piece. And creatively expressing through like journaling and exercises, but I won't demand that, you know, you go off and write a book once you're done. If you want to do that, that's cool, but that's not what I'm bringing to the table here. So we have a very special dynamic, and the women that are coming forward to hang out with us for 3 days are so excited, and we're really excited to meet them. So tickets are available at sistersummitevents.com. I will add in the link. If you're interested, please take a look at the various packages that we have. We do have a package that's all inclusive where you get your hotel, your meals, and the workshop all in one. So you just show up somehow, some way, drive or fly, take a train, take a bus.
Walk.
Yeah. And
pilgrimage, baby, pilgrimage.
If you're local, we do have a local price as well. So if you have any questions, ask me or Jen. We're available. And we hope to see you in Phoenix in May.
I want to give just one little nugget. May I?
Yeah. Yes, please. Yes.
And this is helpful for a lot of people when we're just really embracing the idea of abundance and understanding the abundant resources that we're given here.
Yes.
Is to look simply at the plant. I mean, look at reproduction, period, but look at the plant world that is given freely to us from the earth, right? Mm-hmm. Let's take a tree, for example. A cedar tree will give off pine cones, and in that pine cone, there is hundreds of seeds. Let's say 100 seeds in each pine cone. And so each one of those seeds grows a tree that grows millions of pine cones, that each pine cone has hundreds of seeds, and we need to get back to that understanding. So that's just a quick, I mean, you look at apples, you look at fruit, you look at our vegetables, we look at that this earth is created to abundantly support all of its living beings. Mm-hmm. So when we think of money, when we think of food, when we think of, you know, what has us be human here, we start embracing the idea of abundance that way. It helps it helps us crack through the limiting boxes and mass consciousness belief systems that we've been programmed with. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. I love it. This will be a lot of fun. Women will, we're thinking about these things very differently. But you know what? That's kind of where growth happens, where spiritual development happens, where personal development happens, when you take the time to look at something a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Amazing. I can't wait. Thank you, Carrie, for...
Thanks for joining me.
Yeah. I love what you do. I love how you do it. I'm wishing you all the best on your 100th gig tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And if you guys have any questions about our event, please let us know.
See, there's even abundant opportunities, isn't there?
Abundant opportunities.
And usually one opens up many.
Law of attraction. That's totally how it happened.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, I hope to see you all there, and always feel free to share this with a sister or a mom or a daughter that you have in your life that you could see yourself being there with.
Yeah, we would love to have that.
Awesome.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for having me. Bye.